Hello guys, welcome to Search for Ultimate. Today, I'm going to make a review of Dragon Quest Treasures. This is a spin-off of classic Dragon Quest RPG games. Unlike turn-based combat in the main series though, Dragon Quest Treasures features third-person action battles much like Zelda, alongside the monsters you can recruit in the game. In Dragon Quest Treasures, you play as either Erik or Mia. For the most part, you can change freely between the two. There is no difference in stats or how you play between the two, so just play the characters you want. Grown-up Erik and Mia appears in Dragon Quest XI-S, which is also available in Nintendo. If you played that game, you might be happy to play as Erik or Mia. Having said that, the two games are not really related. They have separate stories and all. When the game starts, you will find yourself on the Vikings ship. Their roles on the ship is a bit unclear, but they seem to be tasked with helping Vikings with some small tasks. Erik and Mia plan to escape from the ship to go on adventures. While doing that, they spot two mysterious creatures that were captured by the Vikings and rescue them. These creatures are named Porcus and Persula, and they bring Erik and Mia into another world called Draconia. As you may be able to guess from the name, Porcus is a pig and Persula is a cat. Draconia is a world where two dragons once lived. These dragons created treasures and buried them for people to discover. The dragons are long gone now, but their body parts remain as 7 dragon stones. Collecting these 7 dragon stones is the main objective in the game. The legend is that when you collect all 7 of these stones, you can get the treasure of the treasures. If you are curious as to what that is, you will have to play the game to find out. Right, so that is some background story there. Now let's talk about the gameplay. The battle system in Dragon Quest Treasures is pretty simple. You get to battle with 3 other monsters, and these monsters automatically attack. And Erik and Mia only have basic dagger attack. As you attack though, something called dagger gauge, which you can see below the character icon, fill up. It can charge up to 3 times, and you can use one of these bars to get the monster to use a dragon attack, which is a powerful area attack. You can also use Wild Side, which gives Erik or Mia a boost of abilities. Sometimes the monsters you defeat will be scouted, which then later can be recruited. Other than the basic attacks, you can use Catapult to shoot pellets, which can have various effects. These pellets are very useful, and it can heal your monsters or strengthen them, or it can be used to damage the enemies. I recommend that you carry as many of them as possible. You can also use food to strengthen your monsters. There is one big problem with the food though. In order to give food to your monsters, you have to approach them and press and hold A button to give food. The problem is that the monsters move as you try to give them food, thus failing. When I try to move closer, they keep moving away. At some point, it gets pretty annoying. The monsters also have something called Fortes, which you can use aside the battle to aid during your adventures. There are 5 Fortes, and each monster can have 1. There are Sprint, Scan, Launch, Stealth, and Glide. Sprint is used to move faster, Scan to find the materials to pick, Launch is used to jump high, Stealth is used to get through small gap, and Glide is used to get down from high places. And you have to remember, in Dragon Quest Treasures, when you fall from the high places, you can lose your health. What I found inconvenient is that since you can only bring 3 monsters at a time, that means 3 Fortes you can use. If you want to use other Fortes, you will have to go and change the monsters. And this is really annoying because if you want to change monsters, you have to go back to the base. I will talk about navigating around and also explain why that is very annoying later. Anyways, once you use this Fortes, it takes a while to charge up and become available to use again. So if you use Sprint Forte, then until you can use it again, you will have to run, which is really slow. At least I wasn't so patient with it. The world of Draconia is made of several islands, and these islands are connected by the railway stations. Most railway stations are not operational right away, and you will have to complete the quests before you can use them. In Dragon Quest Treasures, the only places you can fast travel to are these stations, and you'll have to use the stations for that. There aren't many of them, so you will find yourself running a lot in the game. As I said, you can't use Sprint Forte that often, so traveling can be a bit frustrating at times. You will use one of the islands as your base. You can recruit monsters, cook food, buy pallets, and stuff like that here. And as I mentioned it before, you'll have to come back here to change the monsters, which is something I would have liked to do more often had I not have to come back to the base. As you can see from the title of the game, treasure hunting is a big thing in Dragon Quest Treasures. As you travel around the islands, your monsters will tell you there is a treasure nearby. You can then use Treasure Compass to find the exact location. In order to find the values for these treasures though, you will have to bring it back to the base. At the base, you can also display some of your treasures at the vault. Collecting treasures and seeing your collection and the vault values increasing is one of the things I love doing in the game. As your vault value increases, your rank as a treasure hunter increases. You will need to increase them to progress through the story and find the locations of the Dragon Stones. Dragon Quest Treasure is quite short. I have finished the game in about 23 hours, and you can probably finish more quickly if you try to. There are a lot of side quests though, and about 70 monsters for you to get. There are a lot of treasures to find, so even after the main story is finished, there are plenty to do. Still, I thought the game was a little too pricey. By the way, the story was okay, but the character development was pretty much non-existent, which is a bit disappointing. Okay, so the conclusion. The Dragon Quest Treasure is a fun, casual game. It is not very challenging, and the characters and atmosphere makes me think this game is geared toward a somewhat younger audience. The main story is rather short, only about 20 plus hours, but the story is quite charming. The favorite part of the game for me was recruiting monsters and finding treasures. The art style of the game was also very appealing, and I was happy to see there were no performance issues. On the other hand, I hated that I could only bring 3 monsters at a time, and later find out that I should have brought a different one and I have to go back to the base. Changing monsters should not be this tedious. I would give this game 8 out of 10. If you're a veteran Dragon Quest player, you may find the game too easy. But if you're new to Dragon Quest franchise, or if you are buying it for your kids and want to introduce them to the world of Dragon Quest, I would recommend this game. If you want to see the actual gameplay, I have live streamed it on YouTube, so you can take a look if you don't mind the spoilers. I will leave the link in the description down below. Okay, so that is it for the review. If you have any questions about the game, please leave comments down below and I will answer it as quickly as I can. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Alright, so thank you for watching guys. I will see you in the next video.